In today's video, we're going to check out the brand new Nothing Phone 3A Lite, a budget offering from Nothing that kind of closes 2025 for us with a massive series of devices, but this comes in at an absolute bang for the buck. This is TK and this is the Nothing Phone 3A Lite. Let's check it out and see what makes it so special. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. So this is the packaging for the Nothing Phone 3A Lite. The one that we have obviously here is in the white color. It's a dual camera system in the back. We don't have any wireless charging, and the glyph interface is pretty much brought down to specifically like one light at this point because of the, again, this is the light version of the Nothing Phone 3A. In the box, you get the device, of course. We also have an included transparent case for us to be able to protect the device. And of course, the SIM ejector tool. Let's go ahead and let that focus, the iconic one from Nothing. One thing to mention about this device, which is really nice, is the fact that it supports a dual SIM configuration on the bottom or a single SIM with an SD card option up to 2 terabytes. So let's go ahead and bring it in here. I'll go ahead and just remove the SIM card for us. Hopefully it doesn't drop out. So here we have one SIM card sitting in at the top, and on the back, you can obviously see here, we have a full-size SD card that you're able to add to expand the storage on this device. Now the camera stack that we have on the back is a 50 megapixel primary sensor with EIS and an 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Capable of shooting 4K 30 frames per second is the maximum resolution. The front facing camera that we have in here under the screen protector, as you can see, there's one pre-applied, is a 16 megapixel front facing camera. And the battery that we have in here is a 5000 milliampere battery supported with a 33 watt charging capability. Now they do include the USB-C to C cable in the box. Unfortunately, they do not include a charger. So as long as you're using a PD charger, I think you should be fine charging this up. It does support 5 watt reverse wired charging, not wireless, wired. So in case you ever need to share power from that 5000 or the large battery that we have in here, you could definitely do so at up to 5 watts in reverse mode. 1080p, 120 hertz refresh rate display here. And of course, we have the in-display fingerprint sensor. As we saw in there, you're able to unlock the device. We have a power button and an essential space key on the side. Of course, the dark mode obviously is automatically already in here. We have a volume rocker on the left side. On the top, we have an opening for the microphone. And of course, on the bottom, we have the bottom firing speaker. So let's go ahead and focus. USB-C, and of course, another microphone and the dual SIM card or a SIM and an SD card on the bottom. Jumping in all the way to About device, this is coming out with Nothing OS 3.5 out of the box. Again, this is the Nothing Phone 3A Lite. Now, this is powered by the Dimensity 7300 Pro 5G model. That's going to be the processor that we have in here. Again, the 50 and the 8 on the back, the 16 on the front. The model that I have has 256 gigs of internal storage. Again, we can augment that with the SD card. 8 gigabytes of RAM built in. You're able to go in there and customize in there. RAM booster is turned on. You don't have to worry about it. 5000 milliampere battery, 6.77 inch flexible AMOLED display, 6.77 flexible AMOLED display, Android 15 out of the box, and as I mentioned, dual SIM card support or a SIM and an SD. Now, when we're looking at the entire setup in here, for the most part, this is very familiar to what we've seen before. We have customizations for the lock screen, intelligence toolkit here that's been added in there as well, Essential Space, Wallpaper Studio, Essential News widget, as well as ChatGPT interactions. One thing I do want to mention though is that the glyph interface now is pretty much focused on that one little light on the bottom right side. Again, a much more customized experience to match the price point that we're looking into. We're able to customize with the flip to glyph, and of course essential notification, bedtime schedule as well. Notifications, you can turn them on if you want to. Ringtone, you can customize the different options, and you can go in there and select different ones option in there. And you can see here that the light will start basically pulsating to try to match the sound that we're going with. Very nice, very simple. Again, it's more of a minimalistic approach to a Nothing phone. That's when the light part of it comes in. Of course, Wi-Fi connectivity, connected devices, app configuration, storage, sound and vibration, display, location information, digital well-being, all of that. Obviously, global device, you can log into it. Currently, this device is not available in the US, but you are able to import it. Under special features, we have gestures, RAM boost, pop-up view, and game mode that are built in here. You can go in there and customize them. Of course, we still have the option of going in with power off verify, so you can make sure nobody can turn off your device without your permission. Clone apps, and of course, app locker. As you see here, the UI is very nice and very smooth, very simple. You're able to basically open it up, access it, all of the information that you want. Of course, you can expand in here, add different widgets. We have access to be able to customize the different widgets at the top here, the clock. As you can see, the weather widget even also has the ability of customizing. They see the different information in different modes. As I mentioned, this is running the Dimensity 7300 Pro processor. So it's going to be 1009 for single core, 29 3950 with multi-core. As far as connectivity, I was actually quite surprised, even though this is not intended to be in the US market, but it is obviously supporting the US band. This is on T-Mobile in the Los Angeles area. As you can see here, it says 5G plus, 351 down, 38.3 up. So no problem at all if you're using this in T-Mobile. If you're going to use it in T-Mobile in the LA area, you're not going to have any problems. I don't have a way of testing it out with other carriers, unfortunately, but at least at this point, we know that it works. Talked about the cameras again, primary 50 with an 8 ultra wide. So that's what we get here in the interface. The 2 is just a digital crop on the actual sensor, and the 0.5 is the 8 megapixel camera. Video mode for the most part, as I mentioned, well, actually I haven't mentioned that yet. It's 4K 30 as the best resolution on the main sensor in the back, and you're not able to use that unless you want to drop down to 1080p. Then you'll be able to see the other sensor. But on the front-facing camera, we have 1080p 60 frames per second. Again, 16 megapixel front-facing sensor. Let's go outside and do a quick test of the audio and video from the main sensor on the back as well as the one on the front. So we're going to start off with the front-facing camera, and 1080p 60 frames per second is going to be the best that we're able to shoot here. Keep in mind, obviously, the main sensors on the back are going to be the best performers, but from a processing experience, 1080p is going to be the best on the front, and we can able to go to 4K 30 on the main sensor on the back. This is good audio and video example, again, from the brand new Nothing phone, and again, just kind of rounding up if you want to be able to do a video call or conference call that requires video. This should be what it sounds and looks like. Using the main sensor on the back gives us the ability of shooting at 4K 30 frames per second. That's going to be the best video resolution we're able to get here. If we want to be able to use the ultra wide, 1080p is going to be the best solution there. So from a 1080p 60 or 1080p 30, you're able to use on all the sensors. 4K is primarily on the main one, which is what we're shooting in right now. The nice thing also about the fact that the material on the phone is a little bit, I would say, reflective. I'm actually able to see myself as I'm recording this video, keeping it a little bit interesting as well. And this should be a good example with the audio and video sampled sounds like when we're using the main sensor on the back. Now, as you saw there, the experience is pretty comparable to some of the other devices. Again, at the price point that this is coming in, it's absolutely going to be great. One thing I do want to mention, this does not have a stereo speaker setup. So essentially the bottom firing speaker that we talked about is pretty much the only one we have at the bottom. The top part is not going to be married there. So for the most part, we're going to go ahead and put the volume at 100%, play our favorite song, Jumbo by Alex Quindo. This is an NCS release.
Jack it up.
Now, although a single firing speaker on the right side here on the bottom of the device, this actually has a pretty good level of sound. So as long as you're pointing it in the direction where you're sitting, you're not going to have any problems hearing or listening to any content. If you're holding it in your hand, which is typical to most smartphones, firing downwards, it's going to actually bounce back off your palm and you're going to get a louder experience. So definitely very nice. Again, comparable to that 6.77-inch display here, 1080p at 120 hertz. Now, as you notice there, we do have game mode that's positioned on the left side. You're able to swipe into it. You can go in, turn on performance mode, call blocking, notification blocking, screen recording, and of course, customizing the brightness on this device. It's a really good experience overall. 7300 is a powerful enough of a processor to give us a very nice gaming experience. And again, that 5000 milliampere battery will last us for a long time. So my overall experience with the Nothing Phone 3a Lite is essentially it's a series of tailoring to be able to bring the price point on this device to where it is. It's a great device for what it offers. Large display, large battery. The main sensor on it is actually pretty decent, the 50 megapixel camera. 4K 30 on this device is also really nice, and it definitely the star of the show is going to be that main sensor on the back. I feel like it gets the best processing, the HDR, as well as the EIS as we saw there before. When it comes down to the gaming, as you saw there with PUBG Mobile, there was no experience of any issues. I turned on performance mode and you should be able to do that and get just a decent experience in there. It's not going to get the highest frame rate. The 7300 does have some limitations as to where it's able to push, but I feel like for general gaming, general usage of a type of an experience, essentially if you just want to pop in and play a couple of matches, let's say Call of Duty or PUBG, I don't think this is going to be a big issue. But for the price point, this is definitely hitting above its pay grade because of the way, what it's offering us and what it gives us. The images that you're seeing there as well from, again, using this device around. And of course, what you're seeing there essentially is a very well bundled device for a great price point. And I think it's a great ending for Nothing in 2025 and hopefully leading us into 2026 and seeing what they're offering with even more upgrades and even more experiences. I've had a great opportunity to collaborate with them many, many times this year, and I hope it continues into 2026. This is an absolute banger. If you're looking to get a phone on a budget, the Nothing Phone 3a Lite is not going to disappoint. It's going to be great as a first-time device, great for a general backup device, or even just as a device that you want to be able to get long battery life. The 7300 is definitely a workhorse, but it also gives you the ability of enjoying that 5000 milliampere for quite some time. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I will see you in the next video. Make sure to drop me some comments in here just to let me know what you guys think of this new Nothing Phone 3a Lite from Nothing.